We're live at Consensus 2026 Miami with Adam Cai, CEO of Virgo Group. We've been talking since 2017, 2018, originally starting in Canada when I was there, and you guys have been expanding all over, managing through the crypto cycles, still growing, now getting into more as institutions get involved. You guys are deep in it as well. Maybe you could start with a little bit on the Virgo Group and the different parts that you see the industry is growing in the most, and how you guys are tapping into those sections. And then we can dive into the latest expansions.
First of all, thank you, Ashton, for having me. And we certainly are building a long-term relationships. And you actually witnessed how we kind of changed from a Canadian dominant player, now kind of becoming a little bit more about global side of setting. And I think this decision wasn't easy. It took us 5 years to make such a decision. So now I think, with how the crypto is moving, there are two things that's going to be very important for the future of the massive adoption for crypto. One is certainly AI agent. AI is going to play a huge role in kind of increasing the use cases for blockchain, for payments, for trading. It's also going to lower the entry barrier by a large margin. So the second big topic is certainly about stablecoin payments, like removing the frictions and making it cheaper and all that stuff. So we decided to come up with two global business lines, which kind of hold hands each other to achieve the vision. So the first one is Wallet-V, which is a self-custody AI agent wallet, like in one simple settings. So what we want to try to achieve is, we want to build a really nice Web3 structure within the wallet. So a lot of it top-notch, hand-picked DeFi protocols with natively built into the wallet. But that's just kind of the beginning part of it. It's giving people good user experiences they can use. But we also have AI agents across different functions, right? We have an AI chatbot to teach you how to use it. We have AI agent just live 4 weeks ago, where you have 7 large language models to choose from, where users can actually put in a prompt. And we actually currently we pay for all the tokens users use on a daily basis. And then you can actually run that through Hyperliquid Aster. Obviously, certain regions are limited by IP, but you are able to use that AI agent to kind of trading for you for 724.
This is really interesting because I think a lot of people want to see their LLM or their chatbot have like a wallet, but there's a lot of functionality to that. And I think the crypto industry knows best about wallets, and then building in the AI functionality from there. Because I've used Wallet-V. It's a nice wallet, and I know you guys were also having the prediction market integrations, which I think is huge too. But I know a lot of new users to crypto, and how we're getting more adoption with people that haven't really gotten into the depths of DeFi, and they always have so many questions, and they're like, where do I go to find, what YouTube channel do I watch to learn? But if you have AI built into the wallet, that seems like the obvious solution.
That's correct, because actually think about it this way. For a lot of wallets or DeFi protocol now, what they have is providing the skills documentation for the people to connect with their own AI agents, which ultimately is going to be very nice. But with the current stage of AI adoptions, for a normal day-to-day users to write, to train their own AI agents to connect with skills, it's not an easy job. It's pretty difficult.
Definitely.
So we actually build that within the app. And also the nice part of this is you can actually see every 15 minutes how AI is making decisions. So you have those rationale extract. So you will see, okay, why they open position, why they close it, why they do this, why they do that.
Okay.
So that kind of things give user a lot more confidence. And also it give people the point where they can continuously improve their prompt over time, right? So the goal is not trying to find one prompt that's going to make money all the time. There's no such secret. It's more.
I think that's important for wallets and for people that are using agents to trade. It's like, you can copy trade some guy, but you never really learn if you're just copying the answers from the test.
And you don't know whether they're actually even drunk, they're making a trade right there, or they're even sober, they're happy, they're emotional. You don't have that. But with the AI trading, at least you would know what's the rationale to make logic. If you don't like it, you can change your prompt. So that gives the transparency at least more comfort level.
With trading and investing, one of the biggest mistakes people do is emotional trading. What about the fact that AI agents sort of agree with whatever you say. Some of these ChatGPT, they'll sympathize with however you're feeling. How can you extrapolate that out in trading to make sure that it's not emotion-based?
That's a very good question. That's actually a very good question. So I think, that's what we call, there's a word for this. It's called a hallucination.
Hallucinations.
Hallucinations.
Yeah.
That's the word. Thank you. So what it is basically AI will sometimes imagine something that's entirely off, and they could even make the calculation wrong, or they can misinterpret what you put in the prompt.
Yeah.
So the way to solve this issue, unfortunately, is you have to limit AI. So the way we do it is, for example, if you do technical analysis, we would get you like 10, 15 dimensions where the AIs can only make their decision within those parameters. They cannot just think all over the place. And we also have to tell them you have to memory certain things from this to this to this.
Okay.
So we actually, basically the way is constraining AI to not let it to be jump out of the box too much.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's going to be the way to control the risks of hallucination, and also not let AI to make some crazy decisions. And then that's also a matter of people's, kind of continuous improvement, what parameter you put in there.
Yeah.
And that's something very interesting.
So with the growth of the wallet, I saw that you guys were recently expanding outside of Canada. The US is a huge financial market, of course. Southeast Asia has always been big. Where are you seeing the most growth with the functions that you've built in the wallet and new users still coming into crypto? Where are you guys focused now in the world?
Yeah, we actually see a lot of growth from Southeast Asia, and people are kind of finding this tool to be a potential good alternative to their own trading, because they just made a lot of mistakes. They got to kind of liquidate it all the times. So people are kind of look for that kind of alternative to help them to control the risks.
Yeah.
Not necessarily always making the money, but control risks to be more actionable, like execution plan, right? Asia is a good market. We're also seeing some people from Australia, very interesting. And certainly we're going to looking at more markets over time. But our goal is trying to figure out a way to bring the real benefits from AI to the users, not just saying, oh, we're AI and I don't care about the final results.
Yeah.
I think in the end, we actually do that on a weekly basis, analyzing each AI modular, which one performs best.
Yeah.
And why the winning ratio and with all that kind of data. It's pretty fun to see that, actually.
Definitely. I think people understand that a lot of people are using AI at its most basic level. They're just asking questions and getting an answer, just like talking to a friend. But these models are capable of advanced financial analysis, and maybe you don't need to overcomplicate your portfolio, but there must be a way to hone that AI in with Wallet V to make better decisions and utilize more of what AI is capable of.
Totally. And I think that's only even just one of the use cases for AI, for trading. There could be also other use cases for AI finding you the best routing for swap. Right?
Yeah.
Workflow optimization. There could also be in the future about using AI to figure out how to do yield farming, right?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have money, you have idle assets. What should you do with it? AI should give you some advice to maximize kind of a yield over time.
Yeah.
So I think AI can do a lot of things that human beings, like I would say a normal person, like maybe for the people like you're so professional, I guess actually you can make a lot of good decisions. But for most of the day-to-day users, they don't know enough, or they don't have time to make proper research. Even though do your own research is very important, people just don't do research. So that's where AI can kick in, tell the risks, help you to make decisions better, informed decisions.
Definitely. AI is growing at like an exponential speed. We've seen the latest versions of Claude with security, and it's only going to get more entrenched into the financial markets. How quickly do you think Wallet V and Virgo, as well as just the industry in general, this convergence is going to happen of AI with financial portfolio management?
Yeah, I think that's I would hope we can make some first mover advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, we can have some of that benefits, but this is actually very complex area.
Yeah.
It's very complex. The Web3 infrastructure is relatively easy to connect with your wallet, but to leverage AI also can kind of figure out the balance of the security.
Yeah.
Like how do we ensure that private key is not going to be leaked?
Yeah.
Not going to be messed around with the AI agent, and also the benefit of the convenience, and also increasing the kind of the final end of making more money or having better yield. So that balance is really hard to achieve. But I think with the better module coming up, and kind of more and more people spending money and time into this, my goal is before the end of this year, Wallet V will be like a go-to wallet for people who want to enjoy the benefit of AI helping you to make your financial decisions. So that's going to cover quite a few different sectors within the Web3 DeFi areas, including trading, swapping, yield farming. So with that, I'm hoping I can lower the entry barriers and then giving the normal users a better chance to survive into the kind of risky, dangerous crypto world. And that's how we can retain your customers. And now, when in the future, when people say, okay, I have an AI agent, which wallet I should go? When it's ask ChatGPT. Hopefully that will go to Wallet V.
Yeah, that's becoming the go-to search for information is, what do they call it? GEO instead of SEO.
We're actually spending some resources into this.
Yeah, generative engine optimization.
Correct.
Because no longer are we going to be searching, we're going to be generating.
That's correct. Google, unfortunately, I think is going to be replaced by that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it's super exciting. And from what I understand, you guys are mobile first in the app stores.
So we just figured that we would probably just want to have a really nice app and very easy to use. And I think that's kind of where a normal user can get access to it, rather than they have to have a web terminal, a crypto wallet, and they cannot see that on the phone.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. Like I feel like that piece we're really spending time.
Yeah. Super exciting. I love that you guys are diving deep into AI. There's so much potential that's untapped, especially in crypto wallets. I don't know any other crypto wallet that is doing what you guys are doing.
We're actually the first one.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for the time, Adam.
Thank you, Ashton.
Great to see you again, as always. Best of luck to everything with Virgo, and
luck, guys.
let's follow up in the near future.
Will do. Thank you.